Well, hello, Jack and Dave Wells. Welcome to the Career Pathways Podcast. Dr. Daniels, welcome to the Career Pathways Podcast. Mike Klaus, welcome to the Career Pathways Podcast. Welcome to a special podcast of the Career Pathways show. Well, hello, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. How about you?
Well, hello. This is Pat Lynch. Hello, this is Pat Lynch. Welcome to the Career Pathways Podcast. Hello, I'm Pat Lynch. I'm Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch.
Welcome to the Career Pathways Podcast. I am the current host, Jason Nichols.
This is Pat Lynch.
Hello, my name is Gavin Brunson, and I welcome you to the Career Paths Podcast.
This is Pat Lynch. 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 I'll start this. Well, hello. Welcome to the Career Pathways Podcast. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. Listening to the Career Pathways Podcast. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch.
And welcome to the Career Pathways Podcast.
This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch.
Hello, my name is Gavin. Welcome to the Career Paths Podcast. My name is Gavin Brunson.
Oh, this is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. Oh, this is Pat Lynch. Oh, this is Pat Lynch. And you are listening to a special edition. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. Hello, this is Pat Lynch. Pat Lynch. Hello, this is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. Hello, this is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. Hello, this is Pat Lynch. Bye.
Hello, it's producer Cheyenne.
Hello, this is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. This is Pat Lynch. Hello, this is Pat Lynch. Hello, this is Pat Lynch, and you are listening to the Career Pathways Podcast. We had the summer break like most of the school, and here we are back again. We're doing something a little different because our guest today is me. So it's one of those things that we got producer Jason from behind the board, and now he's going to be leading the interview. But at the board, making the magic happen is
Producer Cheyenne.
You bet. Yeah, so she's back where she was, and she's trying to show Jason the ropes. But
Been away for
also,
a long time.
this is the first time Jason's been on camera, and he can show off his European mustache and facial hair, quite suave.
I should have shaved today.
It's
not the
excellent.
mustache. I'm not.
Yeah.
Mustache ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But the sides. We gotta trim that down. I'm not a daily shave type of guy though.
Okay, that's it. It works. It works. So I'm gonna just kind of stop yapping and let producer Jason kind of fire away the questions.
So, Career Pathways, works in a very, very specific manner.
Right.
But I think the idea, usually we start with like background, where you're from. But I think we need to highlight something a little bit more important.
Yeah.
Which is the fact that you are officially now faculty,
Yes.
full-time faculty.
Yes.
Talk to us about that, because I think that is bigger than anything else.
Yeah, when it comes to when you think about careers, here's a perfect example of how you're never too old to kind of recreate yourself and to try something new, to kind of push your boundaries, get a little uncomfortable. 5 years ago, I was in Atlanta. I was with Career Minds, VP of global operations. I was in a business that I'd been in for about a decade. Didn't want to do it anymore. And so then it's, what am I going to do? Well, here it is. My daughter moves to Arkansas, and I thought, well, I want to get close. I'll move closer to her. And also I always wanted to be in a college or university. Mm-hmm. And the easiest transition for me was career services. So I got to starting to apply, and then one, it was, oh gosh, like late September 2021. I just get a phone call about 7:30 at night, and it's, hello, this is Melissa Tavener. She was the provost at the time. Had a great conversation, and she invites me in to meet everyone. It all worked out. December 1st, 2021, here I am, Director of Career Services. Then when January rolls around, all the professors are starting to return, because at that time, finals was wrapping up and everybody was heading out of town. One of the business faculty says, we see you have a marketing background. Would you be interested in marketing? And it was like Christmas Day, my daughter being born, just, it was the angels opened up. I could hear Morgan Freeman's voice. It was great. And like signed me up, and so it was something that it was like the dream job to teach, and one class led to 2 classes a semester, and then last year I taught a total of 6, 3 for each semester, which is almost full-time faculty.
Yep.
And I created a marketing minor. I created marketing courses, and then we grew the business curriculum enough that here it is that we need a new faculty member. I raised my hand, and it all happened, and so I made the official transition just 2 weeks ago. Actually, it was at the beginning of the summer that it happened. But point is, and you just think of just this small little glimpse of a career journey, go, kind of the business consulting world, the move to the academic world, or move to, kind of academic staff, move to faculty. And I don't know on the record books if I'm the oldest new hire in Lyon history, but I'll claim it at this point.
Well, as they say, hard work breeds luck, they say. Well, so, you kind of put in all that work to make that position happen for yourself, But I think it's also another thing to talk about is just how impactful you've been to Lyon since coming here, which I think is also really interesting considering that you're just now a faculty, yet you had been doing so much for Lyon. For example, let's think about like the tennis courts, Lyon Lift, career pathways. I mean, this whole studio thing probably would have never happened without you. So it's like just the impact, it's a lot of hard work, and a lot of dedication to take a lot of time after work to come and do stuff like this. And get your name out there.
Well, Cheyenne and you will find this, that there's everyone has a certain type of personality, and then what you always want is to find an environment that matches kind of your personality and what you want to do. I am a builder. And what gives me energy is building, and not, Tim the Tool Man Taylor, kind of hammer and nails, but, programs, products, new initiatives. And this is where it was such a perfect environment because, I was given the ability to do all that. The tennis courts are beat up. How do we get it done? Talk to advancement, get a fundraise going. We had, KILT, where we're at, was kind of low frequency radio, I guess.
It was internet radio. Yeah,
internet
it
radio,
was just all internet,
and but really what's prevalent today is podcasts. So recreate that. An international student and a student from Hawaii came to me and said, transportation was a really big problem here at Lyon, and Lyon Lift, came about, getting involved in ramping up student employment, and that was just so great, seeing all these different students that got plugged into the, to their the different jobs, all of them, many of them career relevant. So, it's just, it's an opportunity even the marketing program. And you can kind of see there's a consistent pattern there that's kind of gives me energy, which now in a faculty role, the wheels are already turning in terms of kind of the what is next.
Yeah. And I think also, the ability to, that's something that's kind of a personal thing that you get from your background in, career, like or like marketing and like having an actual job working in the field for a lot of years, is that ability to be able to see something, understand it, and then like see the potential in it. A lot of people, they just, they see dilapidated tennis courts and they just think, oh, somebody should fix that. But, with your mindset and the way you've like, set yourself up as a person through all these years of work, it's how do we fix it, as a group. And I think that comes back to being like, leader, teamwork, that would you say that kind of comes from working in your field?
Yeah. Cause, part of, if you want to be a builder, you have to be a doer.
Yeah.
Things get done. A lot of people talk about it. There's a gazillion people before I ever arrived that talked about fixing the courts or creating a Lyon lift program. It didn't get done.
Exactly.
And so then where the hard work comes in is doing that. And and then some of it's luck. When I had the whole thing about just let's reconfigure KILT Studio, what fell completely into place was that here you raise your hand and say, hey, I think I know a few things about podcasting, and that was all it took. Obviously we had to get equipment. We had to come up with shows. We had to do some recruiting. But it's just there's a thing that being a doer just a good fit. Years and years ago in corporate, oh God, we're all out there kind of just dunking on a bunch of people at work, and they were talking about who are the can do and who are the can I get back to yous, and I swore I'd never want to be thought of as a can I get back to you. That's that would be kind of the greatest insult.
Yeah, well, another thing too, I think also is like because you have this kind of type of personality, it translates well in the classroom and in academia as well, because now you're full-time faculty, you're gonna have to start doing research and other things like that. And I think a lot of things that you see happen with professors is they always are like, oh, I'm going to work on my research, or I'm going to do this in my spare time. But I feel like with a personality like that, you really employ a lot of things in place to allow students to work. Right. Like, for example, who are maybe business or econ or poli-sci, to find and create jobs for them within what you're doing. While, maybe somebody else might, stay back and say, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, but, maybe I'll do it next year, or maybe I'll start my research the year after. But you're like already dead set on like trying to find people for research and stuff.
Yeah, and part of the bargain in becoming faculty is some of the initiatives like Lyon Lift and student employment.
Yeah,
I needed to kind of have that go elsewhere in the company, and that's kind of part of career development and growing. Proud of kind of what we did, but then you move on. The great thing as far as faculty here at Lyon is the high value they put on classroom instruction. So big universities, R1, which is like like real research. Heavy focus on research. The expectation is for faculty to be doing research, and then you get big classrooms, taught by teaching assistants, graduate students, and that's their model. We're smaller. What they really want is that you put that time and attention and effort towards being in the classroom and helping students. Yeah. There's still expectations towards scholarship, and I got something already cooking, and which is cool, and and I'm looking forward to that. I've written often enough.
You think you could do some research?
So I'll get there.
Yeah. So now I kind of want to focus on the aspect of marketing and, business here at Lyon. So kind of run everybody down on like the classes you teach now that you're full-time faculty, and also run us down on like the, the type of jobs that you could possibly get from.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm a career marketing person, so marketing guy. And so I came here, and originally I picked up principles of marketing. That's your introduction to what marketing is. Then after that, started creating the complementary courses that you would take to build on your, as far as your expertise in marketing. So digital marketing first and foremost, because marketing today isn't what I learned back in the Stone Ages, TV, radio, print. Now it's all it's how to connect with people across any kind of digital platform. Brought in consumer behavior, because marketing's all about finding who is the target audience that's going to love your product or service, find out everything that there is about them, and then tailor your message and product to make them incredibly happy. So then we taught that. Then kind of piecing those pieces together, we created Highland Road Marketing, which is a student-run marketing agency.
Are you still in charge of that, by the way?
Oh, man.
Okay, that's your baby. I was like, I didn't know if you were gonna relinquish that.
Oh, no, that's we ran it all a full year last year. We have a hiatus this semester, and we'll be back in the spring. And
is that considered like a class for credits?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And there, it's all about you learn marketing by doing marketing.
Yeah.
So we had real clients, the Humane Society, Webflex Sports, and started doing social media for them, event marketing. This studio KILT, if you go to www, gosh, I'm now drawing blank on the KILT.
I think it's
website.
Lyon
KILT Studios.
Yeah, LyonKiltStudios.com.
Team built that. We built our own website, and we're going to continue with. We're going to go and continue finding clients here in the local area that we can work with. Beyond that, as far as instruction, the marketing classes that are in the works is one around marketing analytics. So that it's kind of that combination of data science, marketing, and economics. And I really want to get this going, because this is where there's two other faculty members.
I was going to say
partner with me.
Probably Shulga or.
Oh yeah, this is like peanut butter and chocolate, and you got to find some third thing that would make it even better. But yeah, that's we all. I've seen some other faculty that have taught jointly like this, and it's great. Your question on marketing careers, marketing's as a discipline is very broad-based, and there's so many paths you can take. You can go into brand management, which is the path that I took. So you manage brands, you manage strategy, you manage marketing communication. You can go into advertising. You can focus solely on digital marketing. You can get into PR. You can get into marketing analytics, data analytics. You can get into sports marketing, where you start, just everything's focused entirely on sports. You can get into event marketing and event activation, promotion, all kinds of different promotions that, so there's kind of classic advertising, but there's also promotion. So there's so many different areas, that you can do consulting. And so like with me, I was, where I started out in consumer products marketing. Then I migrated to business product, I started in consumer food products. Then I moved to consumer health and beauty aids products. Then I move into home hardware products. And then I move into office products. And so all the while, it's things that you can build and just keep adding. Do we have a camera thing?
Just keep going.
No, but I'm sitting
We're
here staring.
We're invested in the camera. What's going on with the camera? It's dead.
Okay. So it's all
All right.
Oh man. Okay. Well, you know what? Internet audience. I know this will come much later, but today's Cheyenne's birthday.
Oh, that's true.
Oh man.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Okay. So I was rambling about marketing careers, but you can, like just with me, I just look at all the different areas that I was in. And so students, they can find a home and a path in so many different areas.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's nice about marketing compared to maybe something else is, I mean, I wanted to get into this. I mean, this is kind of a perfect segue into like AI, but like I think the nice thing about marketing is it's a very much human aspect.
Right.
And so like, although yes, you could just, chat GPT and be like, what is the best idea, for, how to rebrand myself or whatever. And it's going to give you things, but like, it's such a personal thing that like I feel like it's a stable job in a way where like that there's no immediate factor that's going to completely shut you down. Like writing is like a scary one, or like stuff like that, where it's like you don't really know what the stability of your job is, but with marketing it's really stable.
Right. Well, and it's evolving. AI, there's a lot a lot of careers and jobs where AI does have a place, and it's integrating. Where AI just can't replace is there's that human element, that level of creativity and uniqueness that AI is not there yet. Give you a great example. When Highland Road Marketing, when we created the agency, we needed to create an identity, so we need to build a website. Student team, I gave everybody individual pages. We deliver this service here. You write this page. We deliver that service. Write this page. Of course, they went to AI, to try and write it. What you got was marketing words, buzzwords, marketing words. It went nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was a good lesson, because then I worked with them, and we retooled each and every page to kind of say, okay, now why, what's our kind of our mission statement, our sense of purpose. It's that we help small businesses grow.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody that gets onto this particular page and it talks about website building. Okay, how is it that a food truck or a small business is going to read that and figure out, okay, that these guys really understand me and they could help me, because it was just words, marketing words.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, and then all of a sudden now it's like each one of those pages, like me looking at the camera, and here's the owner of the food truck, and here's what here we get you. We know what you need. Here is the things that we can do to help you. And it was all about what's in it for them. And that, I don't see AI being able to do that. You could try and write a novel, right? A murder mystery novel in AI. What's it going to come out? It'd probably be the most boring novel
okay,
in the world.
So the thing is I mean, we'll get into this, because I think this is actually interesting, But when I was in France and I was doing a lot of manuscript writing, when you have nobody to talk to, AI is a good friend to talk to. However, the one thing you notice, especially with writing novels,
you didn't go like full Joaquin Phoenix and fall in love.
No. Scarlett Johansson was not my chat GPT, but
sorry, Cheyenne.
Yeah, no. What is that movie called? Her. Yeah. So that's a good movie. Yeah. So the thing is like I was like, all right, I want some feedback on this manuscript, And the one thing I started to notice is after like the first chapter of my manuscript like analysis that I was doing, I said, screw it. And I said, I'm not going to use this anymore because it is so blatantly obvious. What it's trying to do is it's really trying to hit the most common themes. And honestly, I think that's the reason why young writers why everything, we just talked about this when I was on my drive down here. It's like everything's coming out the same, from in the modern day. And it's like, why is that? Well, it's because so many people are incorporating these like, here's the feedback that the AI gave me because somebody doesn't want to read my book. So instead of, paying somebody to read my book, I'm just going to use ChatGPT and it will say, okay, now I'm going to rewrite it this way. And the thing you notice is it loses its personality because sometimes, like you said, the formality actually makes it less valuable.
Right.
Like, to be informal is actually a way of expressing yourself more creatively and getting to the audience easier.
Yeah, and AI seems like it always wants to please.
Yes.
So it works so hard at giving you what they think is what is going to make you happy.
Yeah.
And that
it's so hard
necessarily the
knocking
best.
You down. Because the thing is like also like not trying to like say that, Shulga doesn't understand good writing, but I am saying that Shulga doesn't understand good writing because he was trying to tell me
Are we going to be able to edit this?
No, Shulga needs to hear this. See, an AI would never do this to Shulga, but see, I'm doing it because I'm not an AI. Look, the truth is like, he like sent me a thing and he's like, he's like, I had an idea for a murder mystery revolving around Lyon in a campus. Yeah. And he's like, and here's the AI, what it wrote. And he goes, it's actually pretty good. And I was like, it's actually kind of not good because it is so generic, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, it took the combination of everything it could possibly read as a murder mystery and just plop the setting down. And like, that's not what you need. You need to have elements of, like that own personal creativity. I mean, you're never gonna get over that hump, that barrier with AI.
Raddick was his story like some handsome economics professor with an Auburn PhD that helped solve it.
It was like, so his original idea was good, but then the AI kind of ruined it because we were talking about this when we were in Vilnius.
Yeah,
was about like Jason Kennedy, but you replace everybody's names. Right. But like Dr. Kennedy is like in the woods, like on an excavation, like course like at Lyon, and they discover like a dead body, and then and it turns out it's like, spoiler alert for something that's never going to come out, it turns out that it's like a group of teachers are like actually killing these people, and it's like, but the AI wrote it in such a way where it was like,
I'm kind of like,
but see, like Shulga had a good idea, right? Like, and like I was like, damn, that's a good idea, like I would write that. Yeah. But the thing is like, then the
snotty
AI
kids, they put them in the ground.
But then like the AI just took it and it was like, all of a sudden it was just not fun.
Whoa.
The personality, it was like, Professor Victor Ramos is walking through the woods with a group of students, and
don't give up on that. Okay, yeah.
You know what?
I read that post on Yik Yak. Tell me where you go.
But see, like, I think like you could write a good story about it. But the AI is not going to write a good story about it. No, it's going to be so generic, and you need that personality. You really do, and that's why I mean, as much as I believe, like, and this is a sad reality, is especially when it comes to like script writing and like movie writing and stuff like that, is companies that pay people money, to write, they don't care what really comes out. They just care what sells.
Right.
And so like the thing is like the reason why Marvel did so well for so long was because it was flashy, easy to understand, And so like the AI is able to write stuff like that. So it's like now you're no longer like the worry is sadly that even though the AI can't perform and create the art in the way that the genre needs to move forward, it's sadly a matter of who wants to pay for it.
Yeah, and you know how like Netflix, when you watch a lot of these like movies or series, and it seems like it's just like they pulled the Netflix formula out, and then it's just. And it's almost like it's written to please
there's
the
a conspiracy
algorithm.
theory.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there is a conspiracy theory, and it's not about Netflix.
Yeah.
But there's a very, very specific channel that likes to run Christmas movies a lot.
Yeah, the Hallmark channel. Yeah.
And there was a conspiracy theory going around like probably about 10 years ago that like the Hallmark channel is ran by like 5 total real humans, like 5 people, and it's an algorithm that just literally pops out. This was before like ChatGPT and AI, but like it's literally an algorithm that just it was like like I think they described it as like it's a Mads comic or whatever, or what is it?
Yeah.
What was
Mad Libs?
Yeah, Mad Libs. Yeah. Where it's just like you literally just plop character name thing.
I'm small town guy.
Yeah.
You know, I
small town guy comes
college,
with
but
big city girl comes.
Yeah, I stayed at home
to save the candy cane shop.
Yeah, Dad was sick at the hardware store, and I needed to help out, and then Graham, big city girl comes in, and we don't hit it off at all. You know, it's.
Big city girl comes and it turns out that her current boyfriend is actually the man that's destroying the candy cane shop that my grandma's running down the street. Or the Christmas tree shop or whatever. And it's like, and then you have that non-ambiguous gender neutral friend, you know, who is a platonic male friend to the female who gets the male character involved with the female, and even though they hate each other, they have to work together.
Yeah, it's like, oh girl, you don't see it. We all do.
No, but that was a conspiracy theory, and like the sad reality is like that's kind of how AI writing works, right?
Right.
It's just plug and play. It's literally plug and play. So like you're exactly right with the Netflix formula. Eventually, you're just gonna start seeing this thing where it's like it's a formula, right? Yeah. Where it's just like everything feels like you're watching a remake, and that's just what companies want because they know like, oh, you know, like Marvel sold well, so let's do another Marvel movie, or let's make a superhero movie that's kind of like it, you know, our own spinoff.
Yeah, and that's why sequels, you know, there's a couple. Godfather 2, you know, but almost always sequels don't work because they try to tweak the formula and then it just becomes a little stale.
And from a marketing standpoint, I mean, I'm sure it would be really easy to market a just generic sequel, but I think the other thing that's kind of interesting is like you notice the best sequels are always movies that, first off, it's rare where it's ever like 2, where a movie is insert movie name 2 is actually better than the original. Right. It's always, you notice, like it has its own identity.
Right.
So like The Dark Knight, Fistful More. I mean, we could go down the list.
Dark
of like,
Knight, is that a sequel?
Yes. So The Dark Knight is a sequel.
Or was it a remake?
No. So Batman Begins is the 2005 film by Christopher Nolan,
which was they just remade the whole franchise.
With Christian Bale.
Right.
The Dark Knight is a sequel to that, direct sequel. But you see how it has its own identity, and here's the even crazier thing, and this is how good spaghetti westerns were at one point.
Yeah,
is spaghetti westerns got so good at one point where people don't even realize today that, you know, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is the third movie of a trilogy. Like the movie is so good that
I thought those were the 3 students buried at Jason Kennedy.
No, that is very much true.
Okay,
but like the thing is think about that. Like think about how hard it is to get a sequel to be good, and now you have a trequel. I don't know. You have the third movie of a trilogy, and it's considered one of the best westerns of all time.
Yeah,
you know, like that is storytelling at its finest.
Sure. Well, and you can build. That's why, like The Dark Knight, I saw that as just a continuation.
You didn't even know it was a
story.
Sequel.
That I would never think
because it has its own identity. The best sequels are movies that have their own identity.
Yeah, well, The Godfather 2.
Yeah, The Godfather 2 is that rare example where like it is just a full on sequel. They didn't try to do anything different other than like setting. Characters are still somewhat the same.
Sure, and Star Wars in a way did that. Like the original Star Wars, and then
Empire Strikes Back is definitely better.
One of the great sequels. And then you needed to fill in all the blanks. Then they tried to go back in time. To kind of.
But the thing about the Empire Strikes Back too is like now the way that the movie is still considered one of probably the best movies of all time. But the thing is like because of the way Star Wars is now set up. It's like it's not really a sequel anymore. It's the 5th movie. It's 5.
Yeah.
So it's like
sorry, internet audience.
But see, like from a marketing,
I tried the Mandalorian, and it got to be like a formula again. It was like
so season one's great. Okay, season one is amazing, but then they do the Disney formula of how
it was like, okay, I've close call. He's gonna die. No, he gets away.
Andor is a prime example.
I haven't even watched it.
So Andor starts off with this really great season, and then the second season's amazing, but it's just
it's
the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like when they hit gold, they just hit it again, but just a little harder. But the thing is you can't. You can only strike lightning. Lightning only strikes once, as they say.
That I don't know.
Okay, but like. You can't encapsulate the lightning, put it in a bottle and have it strike again, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, seventh, eighth.
Right.
It's always going to lose its thunder, and so that's why stuff like Mission Impossible struggled, for a while. And now it's back because it's just everybody wants Tom Cruise, but
and it's good movie entertainment.
But from a marketing standpoint, I imagine movies, I'm sure are kind of difficult to market. They're difficult in a way, I bet, to market because you have to think about it is it's not like a show where it's going to continue. So how do you market, especially we could go into this, how do you market a horror movie to a general audience, right? Of just adults, because obviously kids aren't supposed to see it, but how do you market a movie like that where it's not necessarily for a niche audience because you still need to make a lot of money because it's a big budget film, but how do you market that?
Well, horror is probably one of the hardest because part of the movie marketing playbook is to kind of take a couple of the really great snippets and then bring it in. If you have a so-so movie, the problem is that all the really good stuff's in the trailer and you get to the movie and it's like, man, this this thing, really blows. Hello, snakes on a plane, so but then horror, you really can't give away, what.
Or murder mysteries too, I imagine.
Yeah, and so it's just the drama and, that something is lurking out there. And I Know What You Did Last Summer and what was the
Scream?
Scream, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Scream. They were able to even kind of show some, that some people are kind of meeting an untimely demise without necessarily, giving, that much away. And so you just it's like you have to give away enough that it's going to really make people interested. Now the thing with marketing movies is that some brand new concept that and this is an original piece of this is just truly original in every sense. That's the hardest because people don't have anything to reference it, and that's where Hollywood they want the easy kind of people get it right away. So what do you go every summer? All it is sequels, just repeat of known. Known intellectual property that you can roll out.
I was going to say the best way to market a film is for the film to already exist, right? Yeah. I think that's the thing that a lot of people didn't realize, or if you think about it, think about Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Is it's those films already exist, right? And so, the original,
slasher film,
but slasher films have But the thing about Scream, and this was the genius thing, and I Know What You Did Last Summer literally took the Scream formula. It's called the Scream formula, which is literally they took Scream 1, which was made in 1997 or 96 or whatever, right? And they in 2022 they said we're just gonna literally make a whole new film, call it the same exact thing. We're just gonna put new actors,
right,
and also, by the way, we're going to literally do the whole plot. The whole plot is going to be the exact same down to a T, but it's going to actually be nostalgia bait. We're going to literally play in the movie. The movie is going to reference the movie in the movie. Right. And they did that just this year with I Know What You Did Last Summer. And it's genius because it's the best marketing tool is probably nostalgia, right? I remember seeing, could you imagine being 16-year-old, I got a Mountain Dew. I'm, maybe off some sort of let's say, illegal substance, and I'm going to go see this slasher film. Yeah. And now you're in your 40s, you're deadbeat. Well, not deadbeat, but, you just got off your 12-hour shift and you're tired. And then it's like, oh, my God, I remember seeing that.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. You got to render an opinion on this.
Okay.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh.
The first part.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the thing.
There's a movie. Did it have a plot? Kind of, sort of.
But here's the thing about the Happy Gilmore 2. Is the first Happy Gilmore is entirely a comedy movie that focuses nothing on the golf. Right? Like the golf is the centerpiece, but the main plot is, him
trying to save mom. Yeah. Well, so, quit being a moron. He obviously gets the girl.
But here's the thing about Happy Gilmore 2 is they really hit it home with the golf crowd. Yeah. They really wanted to make sure. But the thing is I think people look at it the wrong way. And maybe I don't know what your perception is on it, but you gotta remember.
Explain to me how I should look at it, Obi-Wan.
Okay. the best way to look at Happy Gilmore 2 is to simply just understand that the movie has no care for anything whatsoever other than to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Right? The plot is non-existent because it's supposed to be 2 hours of you laughing.
Right.
Right? And it's great nostalgia bait.
Yeah.
It's 100% nostalgia bait. It's also very funny, which the thing is if something, what is it? If you're really good at one thing, you don't have to be as good at the other things, right? So if you don't have good dialogue or if you don't have good plot, but you excel at being funny, which that movie was very funny in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it works. But the thing is I'm not going to run home and like put it on Letterboxd and say 5 out of 5 film. I think it is stupid enough in a way. Well, let's look at like The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson remake of the original Naked Gun. It almost is the exact same movie, by the way. Nostalgia bait again.
Doesn't matter.
But the thing is it has a terrible plot. But it doesn't matter because it is so exceedingly funny.
Yeah.
Like for example, I'm not going to spoil anything, but like there's a scene where and it's just like the dumb writing, and dumb writing is what I love, right? It is he's talking to this woman and she's like, "Oh, I graduated, I've lived in LA my whole life. I've graduated here." And he's like, "Oh, UCLA?" And she's like, "Yeah, every day. I live here." And I'm like,
classic.
I was thinking about it for a sec, and then I lost it because it's genius. Like writing like that is funny. Yeah. If you can make something super funny, it doesn't need to have a good plot. Yeah. That's how I feel with Happy Gilmore 2.
And part of what also got me into Happy Gilmore was that did that set the record for the most cameos of ever?
Yeah, it actually did.
It was just
now. I will say the one thing about Happy Gilmore 2 is it's not as quotable as the first one.
Yeah.
I could quote so many things from Happy Gilmore 1. I've seen the movie a lot, to be fair. I've only seen Happy Gilmore 2 twice.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, even still, there's not that many quotable moments. Like, think about in the first one, like how many, quotable moments. Like, we'll do like the one with the guy with the nail in the head.
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's 4 shooter." And he's like, "Oh, good, you can count." He's like, "Yeah, you can count on seeing me in the parking lot after this." Like it's just dumb scenes like that you remember. Yeah. You don't. I don't think Happy Gilmore 2 is very memorable, but I think it's still funny and does what it needs to do.
Well, that's where it was like all these camos, and it's like especially the one people I didn't quite recognize.
Oh, see, but I recognize everybody because I'm golf all the way.
Your thing, but like the parole board, Nancy Lopez got it, but then the other two are somebody. Of course, one's Nelly Korda, the best woman golfer, and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And I can't even tell you who the third was, but it was just. Well,
the other thing too is it's like
brilliant.
There was some really niche golf jokes in there, like the Scotty Scheffler getting arrested. That's not super niche, like people know about
when he was going to the tournament,
and they arrested him, and then when he goes, "Not again," like that's a golfer joke, right?
Well,
like only golfers are.
I always liked him. He didn't want to leave jail, I guess, because they had nuggets that night or something.
Yeah,
he was like getting into the jail food.
It was, but it's good. No, I think movies as a whole though are. It's kind of a scary road to go down.
Right.
Now we can talk about nostalgia bait because I think this is another perfect segue to something I wanted to talk about is why in the F are all these, brands going back to their original logos.
Right.
Is it just for nostalgia, or is there some sort of what else? Simplicity.
Brand. If you think about the life of a brand, they call it a life cycle, and so it's new. All of a sudden it's growing. It's in that growth stage. More people are buying it. More people are recommending it, and then eventually, even the greatest of brands, they level off, and then as a marketer, you're at that point where it's level. You're expected to find strategies to grow. So then, what is it you could do? You might try innovation, all these new, something new to, just get people to rethink it, retry it. One of the strategies is to, kind of go back and start to play into nostalgia. There might be people that left the brand, but then you want to give this reminder of, hey, do you remember when? Give you a great example, and this one worked, was McDonald's just, has this legacy of just so many incredible, commercials.
Yeah.
And all the kids marketing they did, they created all these.
Grimace and all those guys.
And Grimace, thank you for bringing up Grimace. They were playing in nostalgia, and it's like, let's bring back the Grimace shake.
Yeah.
All right, so it's kind of
thank you, Grimace. Happy birthday.
Thank you. That's cool. But now, did they know that all of a sudden all these creative people on TikTok were just going to run with that thing?
Oh my God! In
people
the parking lot,
they're throwing up purple. Heads are blowing up, and it's just a bunch of purple goo.
Yeah,
incredible.
No,
their sales took off. And so that worked, and but sometimes, nostalgia, it doesn't. I think, like McDonald's or like some like fast food, fast casuals, all that works. You try that in like health and beauty aids.
Yeah,
health and beauty aids is all about what's new, what's greatest.
Yeah,
going back to.
Sometimes trends do come back a little bit, but usually they're fads, right? They don't last that long. Like bell bottoms and stuff.
Clothes, that you may, the designers are always looking at, like bell bottoms, wide jeans, all the, that'll make appearance. Now, does it last? Who knows?
But I definitely think there's like cycles to it. But the other thing too, I think is also really interesting is also the time period of the nostalgia, because you got to remember, right? If you, and I think this is from the marketing standpoint, is you don't want to go too far back, right? Because right now your consumer base, if McDonald's was to say, we're bringing back our 1955 logo, here's the issue with that. The people that remember the 1955 logo are older than you.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to bring back
technically dead.
Yeah. Well, come on, Pat. That's a little mean on yourself, but you know what I mean? Like you can't go too far back.
Right.
There's like a prime age range, I'm assuming. So like, for example, like Mountain Dew, they brought back their like early 2000s logo. Because it's like now those people that were heavily drinking Mountain Dew, late teens, early 20s are in their 40s, 50s and are like, oh, I remember that. I'm going to buy that. Consumers that haven't been buying their product recently, now I'm going to buy it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They put down the meth pipe in their parents' basement and go out and get the Mountain Dew. It's like,
But I think that's really interesting. Now, the reason why I kind of brought that up, because I was thinking about that a little bit yesterday.
Oh.
Shout out to the As the World Turns or Burns. Go watch that. We'll link that in the description. But we were talking about Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
And how they tried to do their new logo and it became political, and then they went back to their old logo. And then you brought up a good point of it. Was it actually just Cracker Barrel themselves doing it, to try and...
No, this time, no.
No? You don't think so?
No, that wasn't, we decided to set the internet on fire and be, called, that we're woke and we want to go broke. No, that was an old-fashioned business problem that you had a restaurant that was dated, and they just they were trying to figure out a way to change everything about the restaurant, the menu, the branding to start to bring in a younger audience. And right now, what's in vogue is this minimalist, kind of logo. And like, it works. Yeah. Works for some. Didn't work for Cracker Barrel. It just became something generic and like now like interior, like restaurant design is all that sleek, clean lines, kind of that Scandinavian look. But now you go in and they all look like a modern Applebee's. And so they strategy failed, and so now it's just they throw up their hands. Let's just go back to the old nostalgia thing.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too that I think is really interesting, and first off, that's now like the trickiest slope for them because everything they're going to do is political. So like, how do you even rebrand anymore? You're kind of screwed.
Oh yeah.
But I think the other thing that's really interesting is looking at brands. For example, is when a brand is already so minimalist that they actually work today. Yeah. And I'll give you an example: Waffle House. Think about how Waffle House's logo is.
Right.
It's literally just the boxes that says Waffle House, right? And I'm sure at the time, that was like, whatever, and then like in the 90s and the 2000s when everybody's doing the cool logos, like think about from like sports teams, like the Jaguars, where it's like, oh my God, 30 different colors, nobody can believe it. But brands like Waffle House, you would think would be like, maybe we should think about changing. But now it's like, everybody's going back to everything being super minimalist.
Right.
Waffle House just never changed, Yeah. So they still have like tested time of like,
please Waffle House just stay the same.
Never change. Well, also like Waffle Houses haven't changed at all.
Right.
And like it's kind of one of those rare instances where like never changing whatsoever has not affected them at all.
No, because that's what people.
Yeah.
That's what people want. What you're gonna get.
They've kind of perfected understanding their consumer base. Right. In a way, like these people, like they know who's gonna eat at their restaurant. They know what their restaurant's known for, and we're just gonna offer what we have. Yeah. Well, somebody like Burger King is kind of known for having kind of terrible food, and they try so hard to change and mold out of like we're doing now flame grilled and we're all this and this, but like you just can't quite escape that past.
Yeah. One of the It's one of the things that seems so simple, but it is so hard to follow. In that great marketing is about consistency. It's to craft a message, craft a point of difference, and stick to it, and just keep driving that home. Burger King was always a distant second to McDonald's, and they've tried everything.
Yeah.
They've tried everything, and they might get some market share growth, and then they come right back to where Burger King always is. And so that almost that schizophrenic approach, and you're bouncing from this identity to that, that's it. And frankly, some that, oh God, what's that? The creepy clown, the king, or what do they call it?
Oh yeah, the king. Yeah, he's the king, the Burger
King. There should have been somebody sentenced for that. That is
just wait until you've seen the video game that they made in the early 2000s.
Oh my God.
There's a video called Sneak King made by the Burger King company.
They needed to be put into that pit with the dead Lyon students. I mean, that is that is some weird stuff. I mean, you're all of a sudden it's like he's showing up at on a skyscraper and he's just staring at you.
Yeah. Well, I think what they saw was you get like Jack in the Box where it's like he's the guy.
Yeah,
he's got the clown and then the suit, and then McDonald's has their guy. And so they're really trying to find like their person. And it's like what better than the king? But like the thing is the head is so like it's like they're trying to go for like a sports mascot, but that doesn't really work.
No, it's like, hey, Stephen King, can you create a Burger
it's just
King
like a
mascot?
Blank face, it's not like an animatronic or anything where like it changes. It's just like
young people, they like quirky things like that. Okay, so but that's no, that one really. So you don't like Burger King's food?
No,
it's actually really,
I'm a big Burger King advocate. I'm just saying like the notion is like any single time you've ever hear anybody talk about Burger King, it's always their food's so disgusting. I personally like the thing is like, okay, I'll say this. Burger King France, whole different scenario. If we're putting Burger King France into the scheme of Burger King as a whole, I think Burger King is better than McDonald's, because the thing is like McDonald's is the same everywhere you go.
Right.
But Burger King in France is like actually incredible.
Le Burger King.
Well, so no, it's just Burger King.
Do you want truffles with that? What was it like? What's the menu difference?
It's literally okay. So here's the difference: is, believe it or not, like pretty much nothing except for the burgers are like it's burgers and fries,
right?
Chicken and jalapeno bites, all the stuff that Burger King does here.
Right.
But it's done better, right? And they have a better way of doing the meals. For example, Burger King here, you get a Whopper meal with cheese, and it's like $13.69 or whatever. You get your medium drink.
Yeah.
There, for €10, which is about like $11.69 USD, you get 6 jalapeno cheesy bites, a large fry, which is actually like a medium fry here, and then you get a double Whopper, right, with cheese. Now that's for $11 and a drink, by the way. Yeah. So it's like the thing is you would think, oh, it's cheaper, so it's going to be crappy.
Double Whoppers, Whopper? What's with two in French?
I mean, it's deux, but they.
I'm trying,
but
I'm trying to be global.
What they don't call it the deux Whopper. I think literally what it was called was like stackement, which just means stacked Whopper.
Even better.
So it was literally like stacked Whopper. Yeah. But see, like and you would think like, okay, it's cheaper,
right?
But it comes out first off, you get a huge, like you're eating like a king, a Burger King,
right?
But it's so good.
Yeah.
Like it's actually good food. They use quality beef from France. It's all locally
that's
from
a big
France.
thing.
Their potatoes are from France. And like, so like all this stuff is really high quality, especially at Burger King here, which uses a lot of processed garbage. So you're paying less money for a better product. And I was like,
yeah, that's a big thing in Europe where they're insistent on their, as far as like
however,
beef and everything.
McDonald's is
locally.
Not. McDonald's still uses the same processed crap that they use here. So that's why when I go to McDonald's,
I didn't realize they were allowed to bring that into Europe.
So it's kind of the same thing with Coke.
Yeah.
When a brand gets so big, right, it becomes kind of like this, not immune because they have so much money they can handle it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like think about it. Coke is the exact same over there that it is here, but Fanta's not. And why is that? Mm-hmm. Because Fanta, like they don't want to pay that much money to deal with that issue, that health code stuff. Also, the dye in Fanta is actually just literally banned there, but that's a whole different story. Like the point is, I actually think Fanta was better in Europe because it's orange juice. It's carbonated orange juice, which I love carbonated orange juice.
Yeah.
It goes perfect with a very specific alcohol, which technically I have never drank because I'm not 21. And,
of course, for the record.
Yeah, for the record. And, it's great. And we don't have carbonated orange juice over here because we just have orange soda. Right. But like Orangina is a United Kingdom beautifully crafted drink. Mm-hmm. Fanta over there,
great bottles. Yeah.
Fanta is all sourced in France. All of Europe is distributed from France, but it's just orange juice. It's carbonated orange juice. It's good. But I want to go one more question.
Yeah, you got to reel us back.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. One last big fun question.
Yes.
Because I think from a marketing standpoint, and then we'll wrap it up with just like a easy Lyon tie-in to what we're doing. Here's the question. From a marketing standpoint, imagine this. You are at the top of your game in the mid 20th century, right? You are Sears.
Yeah.
How does a brand that has so much control, like we're talking, it has just the whole market of like, catalog shopping, shopping in general in its hands. How does that fail?
Yeah.
Like talk to me about how like Sears just collapses. Cause now Sears is gone pretty much.
Well, Sears it's like in military terms, they had to fight battles on multiple fronts. So Sears, their first line of attack was the specialty retailers, when they called them category killers. So now, Ken Moore was, a very profitable line of appliances. Now you have Home Depot, Lowe's, all these stores that are hyper focused in certain areas, and they're picking at pieces of the business. Craftsman tools, same thing. All of a sudden you got, you're losing the home hardware. apparel was always a highly profitable area for them. You had all these specialty apparel retailers, and so it was piece by piece by piece. That was kind of first thing. Part of marketing is you can't be all things to all people. And Sears, in a simpler time when there wasn't as much competition, you could succeed in that. Then is so much more competition, so much more choice came about that it was impossible for them to manage. They also, did not embrace digital in any way. I am so
they
old.
Blockbustered it quite literally.
Yeah, and I'm old. I'm so old school that one of the big things for us was when the Sears catalog
for
came
Christmas.
In. Oh my, that was basically our Christmas list.
Yeah. We did that when we were younger, but not for Sears.
Oh my god! It was massive, just massive, and that's a website today, and they just didn't do that. And probably the last thing is that they all of a sudden you it's like the innovator's dilemma where you have a business model that was successful, and then you are so stuck on that model that you are afraid to move away from it. And if they had just said, we just have to walk, we're going to sell off Craftsman, Kenmore, and we'll focus on apparel, that probably wouldn't have worked. But focusing on Craftsman and Kenmore and just having it retool Sears in that way, could it have worked? I don't, possibly, but they were just kind of immobilized in terms of trying to get anything. And then, sadly, eventually, what happens is that the business languishes, and then you have an opportunistic, like vulture capitalist, and that was Eddie. Eddie. Can't remember his last name, but bought it, and then he just drained it of cash, sold it for parts, got all his money out of it, and then all that was left was this dead shell of a company, and that's kind of what happened with Sears.
I think that's kind of an interesting way to look at it too, because
Eddie Lambert, that was his Lampert,
You look at it and you think like from a business standpoint, like you can't do too much.
Yeah.
Now, I think that's incredible when you think about it in the digital age. Because think of Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon quite literally is like digital Sears.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So it's like crazy to me that like Amazon, like I get at the beginning of the digital age, right? Because Amazon comes around and like everybody's like, just one place and I get everything, Amazon Prime, get free shipping, which Amazon has done a good way of keeping people attracted, is like really fast shipping, this, Amazon Prime. But the other thing too is like, do you think we're going to see like that happen, but on a digital scale, where like now all of a sudden all these other retailers, like smaller retailers are, because, small retail kind of got killed by Amazon, but like, do you think it's going to happen where Amazon's going to get Sears'd?
Yeah, it quite possibly could happen if you look at a company like Shein. Amazon, it built up in kind of almost a traditional retail model, so they have inventory and then they have retail relationships.
But Shein's drop shipping, right?
But Shein is a website that connects you to small business retailers, and they don't own one piece of inventory.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of taken one big element out of Amazon, stripped it out. And so now it's just, you order, Shein is simply a digital portal to connect. They'll advertise it on their site, but they're connecting you to someone else. If that's, I think the fact that they're operating out of China kind of slows things down a little bit.
Yeah, because people are still scared. It's a time of scarcity.
But it will, something like that occur, in the future. Yeah, I mean, every great company, that dominates at one time eventually is,
look at Netflix. Like Netflix killed Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And it was everything. But the thing is companies got smart, and they think, well, hey, look what Netflix is doing. Why are we giving, they're giving us a little bit of money? Why don't we just make the money that they're making?
Yeah.
So like now look at Netflix, it's like, it's starting to decline. But the thing is to me, like, it's kind of crazy if you think about it, because Amazon is so big. But then again, that's probably how people thought about Sears.
Google, has, Google right now has 90% of all, search, and they're just dominating the world. And then who's left out of the race? Microsoft. They have Windows, so they have that, but trying to get into search, Bing. I mean, seriously, so Bing's 2%. Well, they partner with OpenAI and create Chat GPT, and all of a sudden now Microsoft's really facing that this is the first time in the life of the company where they're now having to react and catch up to a competitor. They always were the ones running ahead and running past them.
But see, the other thing I think too about Microsoft is always in a position where they're so laissez-faire about it, because like they have Windows. And Windows makes so much money that like they could lose Xbox, they could lose everything else, but as long as Windows is on every single computer, almost like what is it? Windows is 85% of the 80 something high, right?
But someday that may be different. I mean, Linux. I joke in class about BlackBerry. BlackBerry, owned the corporate market, for mobile phones, and they just were convinced everybody loves this guy included, that they love the
textile,
the punch keys, and the iPhone came along in 2007, and by 3 years later, all of a sudden the vultures are circling.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a great way to kind of wrap up. So, final question.
Yes.
What is next for Professor Patrick Lynch?
I just see that there's a long road in terms of just being a productive faculty member. I'm 2 weeks into this, and I know what I need to do to kind of really grow and thrive. For me, going back to like where we began, as far as being a builder, I see a lot of things that can be done as far as just building the curriculum. One big thing that I'm teaching is a class on entrepreneurship, and just bringing more entrepreneur type activity, opportunities, innovation to Lyon. Just to me, I can just see all kinds of things happening from there, and can someday somebody launch a mega successful business, starting here on the campus. That's kind of a dream I'd like to pursue. So, that's kind of the road ahead, Jason.
Wow. Well, the other nice thing that you can look forward to is possibly getting tenured.
Yeah.
And then what happens when you get tenured? You have the opportunity to take a sabbatical.
I'll go crazy. Yeah, I'll go insane. I'll be eating that French Whopper.
Well, hey, then you could take a sabbatical.
Yeah.
And then you could go and...
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be eating a lot of French Whoppers. Yeah. And drinking my Orgina. And, yeah.
Well, I think that is a great way to end.
Yes.
Thank you for watching the Career Pathways podcast. We hope you enjoyed this spectacular kind of flip-flopping of how we normally do things.
Yes.
Kind of sad reality is more than likely this is the last episode of the Career Pathways podcast. But what better way than with the Podfather himself?
Thank you.
Yep.
We're going to we got some ideas in
as the world turns or burns is still in full effect.
It's taking the world by storm.
Yeah, and we have Psyched, which is one of our. I'm psyched for Psyched, which is another one of our bigger shows. But hopefully, Pat and I will be doing more of this, but more laid back, just talking about stupid stuff like movies and marketing, which is less formal than Career Pathways, just doing whatever,
Yep.
And then we have a lot of student-ran projects. We have a lot more student engagement this year that we're really interested in. KILT Studio. So, hopefully, maybe the KILT Studio channel will become more active. I will also be linked in the description, and you'll be able to find a lot of hopefully student-run content. But yeah, this is probably the very last time that we will upload on the Career Pathways podcast YouTube. As always, we have a bunch of stuff running, so check the description. You'll find all those amazing channels and people. And so I figured one last time, we have to send it over to the producer. Where can they find the Career Pathways podcast? Producer Cheyenne, Miss Birthday Girl.
You can find the Career Pathways podcast on 99.97% of all platforms.
Yep.
It sounds as good the first time Jason made it up to the last time that you did it.
What's funny is
It's great.
I don't even remember how that came about. A little nostalgia trip.
Yeah,
on the podcast. I don't know.
It was a moment of inspiration.
Well, I think I had heard I can't remember. I think I heard it in a class or I heard it in a video, and I just was like, wow, not the you can find us part, but like the germs in Germex, and I was like, that's a great, because it is, there's always going to be that, 1.001 where we're never there, but it's perfect because we are everywhere.
Works for me.
All around, Big Brother.
We better say goodbye.
Yep. As always, we'll be around for a little bit. So,
well, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yep. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Adios. This broadcast is sponsored in part by Lyon College and by KILT Studios.